Third session we're having on the sales process. So I got two questions. Who in the room likes to sell? Put their hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, thank you. So who in the room doesn't like to sell but is willing to learn? That should be the rest. Okay? 100%. We get 100%. Okay? Awesome, thank you. So the first couple of things we're going to be discussing is some interesting keys. And I met a gentleman, and he really talked about some good stuff about selling. So I'm gonna verbalize it here. He says, selling is a process. It's like a board game. Selling has steps or certain rules you need to follow. Every company or person you deal with has their rules. You need to know what they are. Then he goes on to say, there's a quote from David Meister. It says, most important thing is talent. The single most important talent is selling is the ability to understand the purchasing process of the client's perspective. So meaning, is the person you're speaking to, you're going to understand a little bit about them before you can sell to them. It's very, very important. There's a quote, understand them before you understand yourself. Know thyself, understand others first. Have you heard of this before? Really, really important. So, the key to success, the key to sales building is building relationships with people who are an excellent fit with you who are what you do. I'll repeat it again. The key to sales success is building relationships with people who are an excellent fit with who are and what you do. Now, I'll give you an example. In my journey out there, I meet a lot of people. Real estate, for all sorts of different businesses. And this is just Toronto. I'm not anywhere else. So I'm just a big listener. Because sometimes it's a fit. I was at an event last week. After here, I went to an event. It was called the Sprout event. There was 600 people in this room. Now for myself, being a master mingler, that is a huge challenge. To walk in a room and to connect. And for a lot of people, that's like, oh boy. So I went in, and I didn't actually know anybody. But what happened was I met someone who I'd never seen in 5 years. Hey, how you doing? Started talking to him. Oh, I'm seeing like, oh, brother, how you doing? So we got talking. So I got all warmed up. I was like, all right, now I'm excited, right? So then he had this keynote speaker who was really funny. He had some interesting things he said. I tracked him down after, spoke to him because he came from Silicon Valley in San Francisco. I'd been there about 3 times in the past couple of years, so we spoke. And then I went around the room and I met some really interesting people. And all because of one thing. What do you think it was? What was it? Hmm? Yes? What else? Hmm? The person you knew gave me energy, but I was determined. I was persistent. I kept going. I kept going, shaking hands, shaking hands. And the lady that I met, it was actually by accident. She was just about to leave, and I turned around and shook her hand and started a conversation, and she had this website where she helps people with barber stuff. So within a week, I already been on her website, written a feature article on it. She already asked us some other articles, and I was featured on the front page of her article in 7 days. Out there. Now, that's networking. Plus, I wrote another article on a networking idea they did at this event. So it was master at its best. Make connections, I did something with them. Now, anyone can do that really, if you're in the selling cycle. Okay, and I still have follow-ups to do. Okay? Let's move on. Just to get you warmed up. My name is Pagiamtzis. Get connected, make it happen. Say it back to me. Get connected, make it happen.
Get connected, make it happen.
Get a little louder.
Get connected, make it happen.
All right, thank you. Oh, this is not even the one I wanted. Okay? Close that. That's the one I wanted. Okay. So, our notes. So the first thing is the sales plan. And you see there it's LCSF. It's list, contact, show the plan, follow up. Repeat it back to me. List, contact, show the plan, follow up. Write it down, write those letters down. It's going to be an important part in the sales cycle. Okay? Very, very important. And the reason is this. in the journey, whatever business we're starting, and say it's a marketing business, we're going to have to put these people's names on a list. Okay? We're going to have to put on a list. And the goal is to get them off the list. Simple. On the list, off the list. And that's the sales cycle. So we got the list. What are we going to do next? We're going to contact them. We're going to phone them. We're going to meet them. The second thing. From that, the goal is, at the bottom, you'll see it says, get an appointment. That's the goal. Okay? So you have to do that loop over and over again till you get that appointment. And from that appointment, you want to get a result. These 4 things are the most important things of everything I'm going to cover today is what you got to remember. If you got this, sales will actually be easier and simpler to initiate. Because I can go out networking and get cards, but what am I going to do with those cards? That's the important thing. So you get those cards, you put them on there, you can keep them in a shoebox or put them on LinkedIn, but you got to have to do something with it. And that's been part of my success, is that I've been really good at doing that. And I continue to do that. And I just do it over and over again because I'm so used to doing it. In the beginning, it's going to take some time doing it, but as you do it, it'll become much easier. Okay? Next thing is the rotating, getting the appointment. We have to get into an inertia that we're doing it. It's that example of the car. If you don't put the ignition in the car, key in the car, where's the car going? Nowhere. You turn the car, the pistons start going, and then you put in the gear, you have gas, and you can go. This is exactly starting the sales cycle. And we're going to break this down, but what will happen at the end, it'll seem very much one thing you're doing. But because you got a lot of momentum doing it, it'll become simple. Okay? And it actually is. It's just that you got the car going already. It's going. It's in first gear. It's in second gear. You're moving. Okay? Very, very important. Alright? The next thing is the loop. What I realized is that when we're out there selling, we're looking for a particular target market. Remember we talked in the business planning class? Some of the people earlier about business planning, about our target market? Remember who was here in the first class? Target market, remember Cindy? Target market? Well, this is where it comes in. Who are we targeting? Who we want to talk to? Okay, so myself, for example. If I have products that are, say, we'll use nutritional products and we'll say an energy drink. Okay? Now those 2 products really can apply to anybody, but the target market I would say between the ages of 20 and 28, we'll say. That's my target group. They're going to school, they're staying up late, they're drinking the Red Bulls, which are not good for them, so I know that has something different for them that'll serve the purpose and it's healthy. I go to the gym, so many people who go where I want to keep healthy and want to take some supplements, so that'll be where my second product will be good at. So that's where I do my target market. Instead of staying in the corner of Blue Bathers and going, you want this? You want this? You want this? I think it's going to be a whole 9 hours of rejection and maybe if I'm lucky 1 person. Right? But if you're going where your market is, it's much easier. Just like last week, I was around how many? 500 entrepreneurs. Right? So my target was very narrow to the point. I had my 30-second pitch going on. It was simple. And actually, they started coming to me after. It was actually, as I started talking to people, they were coming to me. I was like, all right, even better. The thing they saw me, I stayed actually fairly late, so I had a chance to speak to more people because I didn't give up. I was kept on. And when I met Marta from Swap City, it was actually near the end when I met her. So always stay near the end. That's one tip. When you go to an event, stay as late as you can. You just know who you're going to meet. Okay. So moving forward is. Feedback. When you're out there targeting market, you're going to get rejected. Agreed? Okay? Now the rejection actually is good. The rejection can help you because that's feedback. So there's action, feedback, correction, action. So for myself, when I was getting a lot of negative feedback, my mentor, when I used to coach with them, tell me what were they saying? What were they doing? What are you saying to them? Right? And I realized few things I was saying that really was actually working against me in the conversation. And the minute I fixed that, ta-da! I didn't have any more rejection. It was actually smooth. And what it is something that's so simple that you actually, when I tell you it, you'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. Let me see. Want to guess what it is? What is something that will initiate a result? What is it? Want to take a guess? Nobody? It's called call to action. And this is how it works. I'll give you an example. When I email somebody, I say, Monica, nice to meet you. I met you at this event last week. I have this actually project I want to share with you. Can we talk on the phone Friday at 12 o'clock, please? Let me know if that's good. I send the email. So she reads the email, but I have a result on the email at the end. A call to action. That's either Friday at 12 or Monday at 2. So I put it in my calendar. Friday at 10, Monday at 2. Then I'm going to have an appointment with her. And I never had, either people didn't respond or they picked one. Easy. I didn't have to chase them. I didn't have to say, okay, Thursday at 6, Monday at 7:30. No. Those dates were there. There was one little thing that had me in control of my appointments, like this. And it made a huge difference. I was like, it was like night and day. And I was sharing with other entrepreneurs, and they were in the business longer than I was. And they were like, well, we never thought of that. I was like, what? You never thought of it? Like, are you kidding me? Right? So I realized I was probably a little ahead of them as far as momentum, as far as building businesses than they were. But that was a good opportunity to what? Share my example from them. Okay, that's very, very important. So remember, call to action. Good nugget to write down. Call to action. Okay? Stop. Stop it. Camera.